Welcome to Crave, benvenuti a Crave. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and took some time to connect with loved ones. This fall season is such an important time to stay grounded and connected. I'm thrilled to kick off this season celebrating Italian culture, Italian American lifestyle, and of course, some 49ers football. I'm here in studio with Alex Lopez. Buongiorno, Alex.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. And today we have some very special guests. Stay tuned to meet the amazing woman behind Fast Track Italian Citizenship, a team dedicated to helping individuals reconnect with their Italian heritage and navigate the journey to Italian citizenship. Let's get started. Hi, Alex. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Samantha?
I'm good. Let's just do some check-in.
Yes, I have to say this because it's kind of been on my mind ever since I saw it a couple weeks ago with my best friend Maya and my very good friend Naomi. We went to go see the movie Wicked, the musical movie Wicked.
Oh, I love it.
And it's just been like a constant on my mind because just female friendship and I mean friendship in general, it was so amazing going to see that movie with them. I feel like this entire year we've been kind of leading up to going and seeing it, especially because Maya and I are huge Ariana Grande fans, and her and I had never seen the Broadway version of it. And so getting to go and see it, and now we're both obsessed, and now we're like texting each other every day, like about how we're crying when we're listening to the music. It was just so special, and there were so many moments like watching the movie, like we were all holding hands, and like we would squeeze each other's hands during like really beautiful moments. Now, we have to go see it, and then I'm going to cry even more.
Right.
I'm going to keep crying.
I love this story. I was looking a little bit online. I love the story about you, and it's about identity, relationship, friendship. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's so...
And the music is amazing.
Okay.
It kind of brought me back to my roots. I don't think I've ever talked about this with you, but when I was growing up, I did musicals, I did plays. That was such a big part of my life. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I would always try out for the lead role every year in my elementary
it.
school. And even in high school, I was one of the Little Mer sisters in Little Mermaid that I did. So it brought me back to that like side of myself because I love it. I loved it so much. It was like a real huge passion of mine when I was little. And of course, as you get older and you don't really focus on those things sometimes, other things become your priority, so it was really special. And I say that in a way too because I know that's what Ariana Grande did. Did you see?
I love Ariana Grande.
I love her.
I love her.
Did you see that she put her full name?
Ariana Grande Butera.
Yeah.
She's Italian.
Yeah.
But think about today, we're really talking about connecting to our roots, how important heritage.
Yeah.
It
was just special in like so many different ways too. Like, and then also the element of friendships. That's like such a big thing. So, I'm ready for the second part. It ended after part 1, and next year they're going to have part 2. So I'm like, I kind of want to go see the Broadway version. We just missed it. They had it in San Francisco for like months, and like now they don't have it anymore. So now we have to wait a whole year to see what happens in part 2. We don't know. I don't know.
I have to go see the part 1.
Yes. No, we have to go see it.
I really have to go. Yeah.
It's so good. I want to cry thinking about it.
That's so cool. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. On today's episode of Crave, I'm thrilled to introduce 3 incredible women, Alessia Angelini, Susanna Viola, and Elena Martinolli from the Fast Track Italian Citizenship. They are experts in helping people reconnect with their Italian roots and navigating the path to citizenship. It's such a pleasure to have them today on Crave. Welcome to Crave.
Ciao.
Hi, thank you for hosting us.
Can each of you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to work with the Fast Track Italian Citizenship?
We were all involved in the citizenship business for several years now. And basically working together, we realized that we were just, I think, meant to work together. So at a certain point, after a few years, we decided that we wanted to go freelance and start our special project with FTIC.
Grazie, Susanna. Thank you. What about you, Alessia?
Oh, well, I met Susanna and Elena always working in this field, and then I was impressed by my colleagues, so I decided that maybe it was like we had to work together on our own.
What about you, Elena?
Yeah, it's the same for me. I felt that with Susanna and Alessia, there was like a very big connection to our work, and so we decided to start our own project. And so here we are.
What inspired you to start this business? Was there a personal connection to helping people reconnect with their Italian roots?
So our commitment to our job comes from a genuine love for assisting people in achieving their dreams and reuniting them with traditions, stories, a sense of identity. Yeah, for us it's really meaningful because this business is not just about providing a service, it's about sharing the joy and the pride of being Italian and preserving our huge culture and rich history also to future generations.
Why do you guys think that so many people are interested in getting the Italian citizenship? And what's the biggest benefit in your opinion?
In my opinion, the biggest benefit of Italian citizenship is for sure the chance to be part and to live in the most beautiful country in the world. I'm not saying that because I am Italian, but if you think about it, with Italian citizenship, you have access to really a lot of opportunities, like let's say traveling all around Europe without the need of a visa, or working, or living in Europe, or retire here, or also you have access to healthcare, and maybe you can study here, or you can do business and purchase real estate. So you really have a lot of opportunities, not only in Italy, we have to say, but also in all the 27 countries of Europe. And if I can say, to me, it is like extraordinary to think that you can have these opportunities basically based on an ancestor that maybe you didn't even met.
What the process like for someone starting this journey? And it's as a complicate. Can you tell a little bit more about the process?
Typically, if we're talking about the process of applying for citizenship by descent, which is the most requested process at this moment in time for US citizens, um, the process is, well, every process starts with a few steps in genealogical research. So you have to, research who your ancestor was and where he lived, whether he acquired the US citizenship, and there is some research at the beginning. Then you have to collect all the documents that prove your descent from this last person born in Italy to yourself. When you have all the documents ready, you are basically ready to apply for citizenship. And depending on your specific case, your citizenship can be filed, the application can be filed through a local US consulate if you live in the US, or through a court in Italy based on a few specifics. Um, Typically, if someone descends from a woman who was the last born in Italy, it would be a court case, so the application would be filed with a judge in Italy. And after that, when you are approved either by the consulate or by a judge, you can apply for your passport. You are officially Italian.
So you offer different levels of service, the golden, premium, and guided tracks. So how do clients usually decide which is the right fit for them?
So at Fast Track Italian Citizenship, we offer three levels of service tailored to our clients' needs. It's based on how much they wish to be involved in the process. For example, we have the guided track for a more hands-on approach, and if you also wish to cut costs down. Or we have the premium track, which is our standard package, providing a full service from start to finish, and we handle the whole bureaucratic process. Or we have our golden track, which is our VIP package with the priority handling of all the paperwork, and we take care of every step of the process.
Do you have any favorite stories of client discovering something special about their heritage during this process?
I had this client of mine once, and we were like in the process of obtaining his citizenship. So we were just talking about the process, what to do, the steps, and so on. And I remember one day, just randomly talking, he told me that his job was a chef. He was a chef in a famous restaurant in Houston, Texas. And this was not a detail of much importance for the process, but I remember that because many days after, we were like going into deep into his roots. We were looking for details about his great grandfather because it was his ancestor of reference. So we were like trying to locate something about his story, where he was born, and also where he lived, when he moved from Italy to US, and so on. And one day we just found this census record, which is kind of a list made from the state. It was from 1930, if I don't go wrong. And in this list,
Oh,
there are many details about everyone because it's like all the people that live in a street. So there are many details like name, age, members of the family, and so on. And we noticed that there was also the job of his great grandfather. And you can guess what he was. He was a chef too. He was a cooker.
oh gosh,
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love
it's
beautiful. I
it.
love it.
it's crazy. It was amazing because my client,
Wow,
it was like amazed. It was wonderful. He felt so close to his great grandfather. It's like it was meant to be.
that was meant to
Oh.
be. Yeah. Susanna, do you have also little stories?
So let me think. Well, this actually happened recently, and this has also something to do with coincidence, sort of. Someone I'm talking with these days, she is from Fulton County, New York, and she is actually looking for her grandfather naturalization records. And basically, she told me that she walked into this kind of hall of records in Fulton County, New York, and just looking for the records for naturalization for her grandfather. Basically, the first book that she picked up is dusty, very old book. She opened the book and just one randomly above 100 books. The first book she took and the first page she opened, it was the naturalization of her grandfather. So this was for me like
Wow.
mind blowing. Um, so I feel like there is like a sense of, belonging that goes beyond our conception, I think.
I
Just
have a chill actually.
I
I'm
know,
like,
me
oh,
too. That's
yeah, yeah.
right? I was like,
incredible.
wow. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's beautiful. Such a beautiful
Yes.
stories. Elena,
Mhm.
what about you?
Okay, so maybe this moment I don't know if I can recall like a funny story, but I can say that this is what we love about our job because every case, every story is unique,
Uh-huh.
and for us, it's like not just about the paperwork, but it's like a journey of discovery, we could say, because people can uncover fascinating facts regarding their family members, their ancestors, and yeah, it's really funny, but also like it deepens their connection to their heritage. So yeah, it's really important also to us.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so important. Here at Crave, we're talking all the time about how important to connect with your roots and your heritage. So very important.
So, what would you guys say is the most challenging part of helping people get their citizenship? And how do you try to make it easier for them?
I think the most challenging part is to work with someone such as US citizens whose concept of privacy and bureaucracy is completely different from the one that we have in Italy. So the challenging thing would be to have them understand all the steps of the process in a very easy and comforting way, not to just avoid them to feel overwhelmed by the process, because I cannot say the process is not overwhelming, because it is a huge project of your life to apply and get Italian citizenship and maybe move there, or if you wish your children to grow up there, it's huge in a person's life. But I think finding the way of leading people in an easy way, despite of all the difficulties, is really what makes this job very interesting for me. And the easiest they feel the process, the better I feel, even though the process is not that easy, in my opinion.
And what do you love most about what you do? Is there is a moment that really stands out to you?
Yeah, so this job is really rewarding because it allows us to help people reconnect, as we mentioned before, with their Italian roots. But I think that the moment we enjoy the most with our clients, it's when they finally get their passport, because
Right.
it's really meaningful, and we know that it impact our their lives, and it opens door to new opportunities and experiences in Italy and in all Europe.
If someone is thinking about getting Italian citizenship but is not sure where to start, okay, what's the first things they should do?
Mm, I think in our experience working together, the very first step for anyone wishing to discover if they are eligible to apply is always starting from talking with the family, I think. Well, if you have the chance, because I don't know, if you have the chance, talk to your family, because it's like the basic. You discover something, you look if someone can help you in locating any detail, also small details about your ancestors. Maybe you don't know them, you never met them, so someone else in your family could. And I think this is the very first step. Once you have checked with your family, of course, if any details is missing, we are here to help. Also, we offer free eligibility consultations in such cases, because the eligibility is the very basis of the process. So we offer this free consultation, which includes genealogical research. And with our experience, we can definitely help searching into the right places and locate the right details to start the process. But I think the very first step is always the family.
So at Crave, we all about exploring passions. What's something you are each of you passionate about beside your work?
I really enjoy exploring new cultures while traveling. Also, I have a passion for sports. I'm a snowboarder and a tennis player,
Wow,
and yeah, and
love it.
yeah, and also have a deep love for animals, in particular for dogs.
What about you, Alessia?
Um, well, my biggest passion is cooking. I definitely love cooking. Mostly, I love to prepare cakes and desserts. Like when some friends
Mhm.
arrange some gatherings, I'm always the one saying, "Guys, I bring the dessert." And also, I love cooking for my family and for my friends because it's like I feel fulfilled when I see all of them around the table eating and being happy and talking. And that's it.
What about you, Susanna?
Um, I would say my passion outside work is the outdoor in general. We live in a place that's very close to the mountain, the Dolomites, here in Italy. So I like to go hiking wherever I get the chance, wherever there is good weather. I also like bouldering, through hiking, that sort of stuff. And I also have a 3-year-old, so I also like reading books to my toddler and just be his mom. It's the best thing in the world.
That's beautiful.
So sweet.
Where people can find you guys?
Basically, people can find us online. We have a website which is www.fasttrackitaliancitizenship.com with only one T between fast and track. And then we are active on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also TikTok if you wish to follow us. And we have an email which is ciao@fasttrackitaliancitizenship.com, always with one T between fast and track. And that's it. We have an office in Dallas and one in Italy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for coming
Thank you
on.
for coming on Crave. We can't wait to have you back.
Yes.
Thank you for hosting us.
This episode of Crave is sponsored by Alice Becker Inc. Dodd, a family-run business with over 30 years of experience in the fashion industry. They offer unique clothing for every age and size, always going the extra mile for their customers. Visit them in Nevada or online at www.alicebeckerinc.com.
Thank you so much to our sponsor for supporting this episode. Now, Alex, what's going on with the 49ers?
For as long as I've had this 49ers segment on Crave, even when we first started doing college radio, the Niners have been a really good team, a great team. So seeing them like this, especially our defense, it's been something. I've just been laughing, honestly, because a lot of it you just can't make up. I wish I could make up, but you really can't. So I found out that Brandon Allen was possibly starting outside the movie theater when I went to go see Wicked. And ironically, that movie theater that I went to was I'm not joking, it was less than 5 minutes away from Levi Stadium. So I literally passed Levi Stadium as I was going to the movie theater. And I was in the parking lot on my phone. I was waiting for Maya and Naomi to get there. And I get this notification on my phone. And it's saying that, Brandon Allen, it's possible. And I was a little in denial because I thought, you know what, this is a really important game, okay? I don't think Brock is that injured, And I really thought, okay, well, maybe they're just being a little safe, with him. I understand. Still, when they confirmed that he wasn't playing, when they confirmed Bosa wasn't playing, I had a tiny little glimmer of hope. And then I woke up on game day, and I saw that Trent Williams wasn't playing. And I was like, Jalen Moore is not good. And when Trent Williams retires, which is sooner than I think the front office is willing to admit, we need to have someone. We have to have someone that can fit there and be somewhat decent. And speaking of offensive linemen who were not good this game, Dominic Pooney, he had 3 huge penalties and allowed a sack early on. And of course, that really kind of shaped how the game was going to go offensively. And I will say, you know what, he's a rookie. And so the fact that I'm holding him to this kind of standard, I think tells you everything about how I feel about the 49ers offensive line. Of course, I'm excluding Trent Williams. And on the defense, I just got to laugh. They had 15, you heard me, 15 missed tackles in the first half.
Wow.
The Packers' first drive was like for us, it was so embarrassing to watch. It was like a knife going through hot butter. Thanksgiving, it was like we were a knife.
There was.
I thought to myself, this is going to be a long game. And it was. And, what I will say is Nick Sorensen, our defensive coordinator, I think he'll be the scapegoat, which basically means I think he's going to be, rightfully so, put into question as to a lot of what's going on defensively. And I don't see him being there in that role, at least, for much longer. I'll give him the season until the season's over. And whether that means Brandon Staley steps into that role or someone else, I don't know. We'll see. And I'm sure we'll get into that sooner than I'd like to admit, but during the off season. It's just after experiencing such a dominant defense for a couple years in a row where I felt like who isn't good? You could place anyone here and they would go off. And so to see that kind of flip, and I feel like it happened so quickly.
It was quick, actually.
Yeah. Like that. So, And finally, special teams, making boneheaded mistakes. Just typical. No surprise there. I think the most notable was the one where Eric Saubert got a holding call after Debo had an 87-yard kick return. So that really could have shifted the momentum of the game. I think at that time it was 17-7. So say the holding call was not called and, we were right there. We got another touchdown. Then it would have been 14-17. We still would have been in the game. And then also, ironically, with Debo, he ended up missing a crucial catch, 2 crucial catches. And I'm going to be so honest and real, guys. I felt very dazed watching this game. I felt... And I tweeted this. I felt like I did when the Niners were in the NFC Championship game when Brock got hurt and you just knew that there was nothing that could happen in this game in which we were going to win. We were going to lose and there was no coming back. And also after CMC fumbled, I was just like, okay, I'm done. I turned off the TV. Which really quickly, CMC is not on the same level as he was. And I don't know. He hasn't, I don't think he's fully recovered, understandably so. But you would think after the way Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrero have been playing, after some of their games where CMC wasn't available, you would think that he would kind of put all 3 of them on this rotation, right? You would hope, right? And that just has not been the case. I feel like they should have eased CMC more into it, and he just hasn't.
Wow.
I
don't know what to say, actually, anymore.
We were texting, at the game, and with Crave, we have, kind of a social media plan of, clips that come out, and we had another one with Eric Crocker that was supposed to come out, and by the time this is uploaded, it will be out. But at that time, I was like, I was supposed to, get one ready for right after the game.
And she's like,
and I was like, no. I was like, this is not the time to post this. I was like, there's no way. And it made me really sad, too, because, gosh, from the NFC Championship game last year, and again, I said this early in the season, it would be totally fine if we had won, right? We could have went 0-17 this season, and I wouldn't have cared because we were Super Bowl champions, but because we've gotten so close. And the fact that it's I feel like there's no... It's like you are almost climbing a mountain, and you're about to reach to the top, and then you fall. And now you're literally at rock bottom.
Wow. What do you think is really behind this? And how can they turn it around, Alex?
So I think there are a couple things. But these are the ones that kind of stand out to me.
Right.
I think, number one, it's the lack of depth that we have. Lack of focus, and they just seem very undisciplined as a team. Number two, I will say schemes and adjusting to the schemes, which comes down to coaching, and I think that's mainly on the defensive side of the ball, although there's, some things with offense as well. And then the third one, and is the real kicker to me, is injuries to players.
The injuries are
It's unbelievable. I feel like there's something, like, for example, like today, like Brock is apparently like, having a limited practice, which is, you could look at it in two ways. For me, at this point, what I'm seeing is, he's still limited. That means his shoulder is still not good. I mean, and how they turn it around, it's just like you have to kind of return to the basics, focus on the fundamentals, adjust correctly, I think even with halftime, it's like you always hear the term halftime adjustments. I don't think we have that. I don't think that's been a thing for them these past couple games especially. And then, of course, health and recovery to players, but that takes time. And the timeline for each player who is injured is also going to be very different.
What's your take on how the Niners can handle this moving forward?
You
have to be very positive.
I know. This is the thing. It's one of those things where I love this team, okay? Mm-hmm. And that tells you everything that I'm coming here every week giving an update, even though these games have been so painful for me, honestly. But I do think I trust Kyle Shanahan. I know a lot of people don't. I know that's a lot of discourse on Twitter right now, is that he should be fired, he should this, whatever. And I always think of, okay, do we really trust Jed York to hire another coach like Kyle? I personally don't. And do you know how quickly, if we fired Kyle Shanahan right at this very second, do you know how quickly other teams would be calling to see what's going on with him? Right. Like honey in 2 seconds, I promise you. So I trust him. Mm-hmm. I think this just happens with a team that is just exhausted. Like I said this weeks ago, I think, of being emotionally drained. I think they're emotionally drained.
Yeah, I believe that.
After being so close, this is basically the same unit. Of course, every year you get new pieces. But for the core, this is the same unit. And being so close every year, I have an emotional toll, as a fan. So I couldn't imagine as a player. And so, I try to be like George Kittle, who is one of the most positive. And it's hard, but I want to believe in them even still now. It's hard to, believe me. They just have things that they have to fix. They just have, to recover. And it's going to take time, but we just got to keep moving. That's all we can do. And if we don't make the playoffs, guys, we don't make the playoffs.
I know, it's okay, too.
It's okay. Let them recover. Let them have a full off season, maybe. I don't know. Right. As long as the Chiefs don't win, I don't care. As long as they don't get a third one, I don't care. Third in a row, I don't care. I'll be rooting for anybody else. Actually, I wanted to say that. If that case does happen, I definitely will be talking about the NFL playoffs, even if my Niners aren't involved. Of course.
That's great. Yeah. I can't wait to see what's next.
What's next?
And stay
Fingers
tuned
crossed.
with Alex for next week.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to our 13th episode of our 5th season. Follow us on Instagram at crave.show. And we're on Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe.
Also, make sure you check our website, craveshow.com, and see you next week. Stay tuned. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.